Oh, fuck me, mate. That's the way it's got to be sometimes. It's the way England plays, bro.
Scotland played very well to them. They literally played fucking out of their skin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So go on.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Crazy one, yeah. I think it's just the thing as well is that England, basically, in the Euros, there's like 4 people in your group. If you get 4 points, you're basically safe. And England won this match, but they had 3 points. And so we got to draw this match, so we're on 4 points. We'll probably get through now. While Scotland lost their first match, they just needed it like 10 times more than as well.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was partly like England being nice and being a bit lazy as well.
Yeah, I think it's like England being safe was nice, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that was more of a joke. Yeah, we'll give you a point, Scotland. You're kind of next to us, so.
Yeah, man, we love the Scots. We love the Scots. We love them.
Yeah, the Scots love us. The Scots love us as well. But yeah, mate.
So how are we going to introduce ourselves to our audience?
Can very much do. Yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm Darius Alporzii. I've been watching fights for a while. Fucking good solid few years. I think one of the best UFC cards I've ever seen was UFC, the one with, what's his name? The snake on it? The snake.
Love that. Starting off strong with these numbers. We're loving it.
The one with fat GSP on it.
You talking about one of the first cards that we watched together? You talking about the Young J-Check card?
Nah, yes, the Young J-Check. That was one of the best cards. One of the earliest best cards I've seen. But I don't remember, what was the first card that we watched? Do you remember?
The first card we watched, I can't remember. I think the first card I remember definitely that card with the Joanna Young J-Check, the first fight, and what were the other 3 upsets on that card? It was that fight.
GSP Bisping.
Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, and GSP Bisping.
And what was the other one?
Old thick boy GSP.
Oh yeah. That was I think that was the first fight. I think that was the first fight card that me, you, and John watched as a group, anyway.
Wasn't it you, me, and Jack in that situation?
It might have been you, me, John, and Jack. John was definitely there.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, John was there because I remember him taking the piss out of me afterwards. I was like, "This is insane," and it was insane. But you know, John was just like,
"Yeah, man, there's a lot of casual energy in the air, man." What a time to realise that was.
What a time, mate! I've never been. Don't get anywhere near as excited about that anymore. But
it's alright, man. Yeah. The best thing about not going to uni was definitely not having to watch UFC with Callum.
Oh, yeah, mate. Oh, UFC got a lot harder to watch at that point.
The big highlight of not going to uni, that thing. Shout out to you.
Mate, I'll be honest with you. I watched a lot of cards alone in my room, no doubt.
Oh, man. Right, so, yeah, you said who you are. I'm Charlie Brown. And my dad was a boxer growing up. So I used to watch a lot of boxing with him, and I found a love for mixed martial arts I'd say probably about 6 months before I came to uni, so about 4 years ago now.
Mate, longer than that, bro. Let's be honest.
5 years ago? Man, I'm so bad with time.
It's like 5-6 years ago, bro.
5-6 years ago. Bro, General. So bad. For the brain. But yeah, I've been watching shit for like 5 years. Some of my oldest memories of watching, I used to watch a lot of K1 back in the day. Some of my oldest memories of watching fights was watching Bob Sapp on the TV. And yeah, all those K1 Pride fights. I think I remember seeing Vanderlei as well. And my big brother's a massive Vanderlei fan. I mean, he used to show me a bit of Vanderlei when I was younger as well. But yeah. Well, yeah, there we are. And, very into UFC, and me and Darius watch most of the cards, chat endless shit about UFC all the time, so we thought we might as well share it with you guys.
Exactly. Let's give the fans what they want, some shit chat about some shit.
Exactly. We're all here for it. And coming off off an exciting card and into one of these little fight nights that always end up being some of the more entertaining UFC cards.
No doubt, no fucking doubt. I mean, like, this is actually going to be a little bit of a banger. There's some pretty creepy fights on it. I don't know a lot of the early prelim fights, I'll be honest with you. But it's one of them ones, mate. Like, boys who don't have a name have got a lot to prove. So let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of fighters. I've done like a little bit of research on some of the fighters that I'm not as familiar with, and it's a lot of fighters that are coming off of heavy win streaks or finish streaks.
Oh, okay.
Which is exciting. For example, the fourth fight on the main card is Julian Erosa versus Choi Sung-woo, and you've got Julian Erosa coming off of 2 submissions and a TKO win in his last 3 fights.
Okay.
Fighting against a very forward-heavy Choi Sung-woo, as a lot of the sort of fighters coming out of the continent of Asia tend to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is Chung Sung-yu another one of these fighters that use face as defense kind of fellas?
A little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
A quite built guy, a quite built Asian fighter that uses a lot of, face tactics, heavy punches, and durability. Yeah. I mean, when they're good, but man, they take a lot of pain. These freaking these Asian fighters coming up into the UFC when they're not as experienced.
Yeah.
I think he is from South Korea, Choi Sung-woo. Sounds like South Korea.
Man, I'm just thinking, like, what is it going on in the training camps in China that's like? Do you reckon sparring is just always just smashing heads against each other? Like, what's going on there?
I've definitely seen a lot of videos of Asian fighters going extremely hard in sparring. I don't know if that's I know in Thailand, they're very, very aggressive, but they spar very, very, very light, don't they?
Yeah, they're just kind of like flicking each other. It's just like playing a game with them, lot. Yeah.
Yeah, like whenever I watch Sanchez doing his sparring videos, he's always just working at 30%. No one gets hurt.
Apart from when he's like fucking about with his.
It's something that's not as common because that's definitely not the way in Thailand. I don't know if it's different in China and in Korea.
Yeah.
You have to think like pretty much all of these Korean fighters are all cuts glory. I mean, the best example of that is, our main event, Chan Sung Jung. He could be winning a fight 5 rounds. He's still going to come off your head in the last second to his own detriment.
Yeah, well, thinking about it, like I've been watching IFO for the past like a week. I'm going back through it, just watching the newer seasons, and they talk about like how Japan anyway. Obviously, this is in Japan.
Maybe explain to the people what Hajime Nebbo is.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair play. Hajime Nebbo is the best series you'll ever watch. If you're not into boxing or you're mildly inspired about it or don't really understand that much about it, it pretty much teaches you everything you want to know. It teaches you like fighter's mentality, different moves, what you need to do, like what you need to do head movement wise, what you need to train, like all that shit. But more than that, it's emotional as fuck, and every time I watch it, I scream at the TV. I'm like, Hajime Nebbo! Get well into it, bro. Get well into it, man. All about it. Senpai,
Yeah,
all that shit.
Basically, an anime that follows the life of this boy who's learning to be a fighter.
Yeah, well, I mean, now where I'm at, bro. I don't want to spoil it for you, bro. To be honest with you, but yeah. Well, I was just gonna say at that point, he's in. They talk about how Japanese fighters have a lot of heart, like they rely on the Japan toughness. So maybe that's like an Asian thing.
That samurai spirit.
Yeah, too right. There's a lot of shame when it comes to losing. So.
Yeah, especially. I think that's the thing. I feel like a fighter like Chan Sung Jung or even like Doo-ho Choi and fighters like that, they would rather go out and get finished, and they can't have that. It seems that way. They'd rather go out and get finished than get a points victory at times.
Yeah, which that means that they just rely on like. Yeah, which means they kind of like just rely on like they get used to dying on their shield rather than actually just trying to slip shit. But it's weird because I mean, Chang Soo-jung has some of the cleanest little dips like here and there where he slips stuff and just baps it straight down there.
No, definitely. Chan Sung-jung's defense and his defensive boxing has massively improved from when he first came into the UFC. Though, I mean, he used to be pretty much all offense. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Charlie's parents. They're going to be doing quite a few yelling in between in and out of the podcast.
part of the podcast.
We should get them to just introduce themselves as well. Mary's partially deaf, so she usually, if you ask her a question, she's like, "What?" or pretends like she hears you and just smiles. You know, that's my interactions with her, and I love them. It's great. Dale Boy will give you, he'll let you know that he's the champ, and chat about
You guys, I'm back.
15 minutes of shit at you.
Domestic.
What?
Domestic.
What?
We like a bit of fighting in the ring, a bit of fighting in the house.
So you got to practice, bro. You got to keep the training up.
You gotta have that good defense, man. I got good cheers for all this aggro coming up right now.
Yeah.
It's alright.
It's very good. You know, it's like fighting's all about keeping your body under stress the whole fight. So, you know, you got to have that nice home environment,
right.
stressful
I'm
fight.
just conditioning myself so I can, be in that hole and fight back. Exactly. Fuck it up. But they're very good. So as a segue, so we're already talking about the main man, Chan Sung Jung.
Mm-hmm.
Our main event, and I was just thinking, sort of going into this, I was thinking like, where is Chan Sung Jung? Because he came into the UFC, and he straight away had 3 fights and 9 performances, and he's sort of got this enigma about him. He's a massive big star. He's must-see television every time Korean Zombie's in there.
I mean, he's called the Zombie, so I mean that's all we need to know. It's called the Zombie, so it's like.
He's called the Zombie, exactly. And he's actually called the Zombie. Like they call him the Zombie in his actual name at the bottom. It's not even just his nickname. He's actually just called the Zombie. It's so sick.
Even on the card, did you see it on the card? Like, you know, the little what's it called on the fucking what they call the posters for it. It literally says Zombie versus Ige. It doesn't even say Korean Zombie, like just Zombie.
Because they asked him when he first started it. They started calling him Zombie. And they were like, "Oh, do you want us to use your name?" And he was like, "No, choose a Zombie."
I'm pretty sure it wasn't even like that. I'm pretty sure they were like calling him both, and he asked them to call him just Zombie.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, he wants it. I love it. It's a good name. Very good marketing.
Mm.
And like we said, with the whole sort of, tough gut, it works with the nickname, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it must be like, I don't know, it must be pretty intimidating fighting someone called Zombie.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, what half Brazilian fighters called? Loads of them are called the same name. Like, they're all still called like the same intimidating name. I've forgotten it though. Brazilian fighters. There's like Hulk. Like a lot of Hulk. There's a lot of Brazilian footballers that call themselves Hulk.
Interesting.
But,
Is that them overcompensating?
I've forgotten what I'm thinking of. A million silvers anyway. A million silvers.
Yeah, I mean they're all silver, shiny, you know. They wear cards.
But yeah, so where does Zombie come into this? I just think this is a bit of like a crossroads fight for Zombie, personally, in my opinion. Coming off that quite, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but it's just a very, very conclusive win by Brian Ortega.
Yeah.
Where thoroughly outclassed and made to look not himself in there at times.
Well, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, I don't think he was himself in that fight. I think he did. It was a really bad showing, and Brian looked great. And like, you know, it was just like partly. I don't know. Maybe it was a mix up of styles. Like Brian changed his game so much that maybe that freaked out Zombie as well. Like, I think it was all a combination of just like so much weirdness. And I have to think that Zombie didn't look himself. Like, I think he would have, you know, like we just talked about. Like, I think he would have rather gone out and blasted him with some shit than just get touched all the time. Like, I just didn't look like he had any energy to do shit.
Yeah, it seemed like he sort of like was lulled into the style of, completely just mystified by all the tricks and the work that Ortega was doing. He seemed like he was building up a little bit of momentum. I think it was like coming into the second round, then he got caught with that elbow coming through, and then he came back again for another 2 rounds. He sort of lost momentum again for another 2 rounds. Didn't look like himself. Ortega was just leading the dance, beating him up, and then he sort of came out again, quite fiery again in round 5. But yeah, I agree with you. He didn't have the just constant intensity that you expect from Zombie. But I think a lot of that can be attributed to just how great Ortega looks, of course.
Yeah, I think definitely it's a combination. I mean, the feints that Ortega were doing were like beautiful, weren't they? I thought I was like his jab, his boxing was great. I thought it was fucking lovely. I mean, his kicks were just like floaty as hell, man. It was weird. It was proper strange.
Like little faint ankle grabs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like using all his game. Like it was correct. That's probably one of the biggest change ups I think I've ever seen. To be honest with you, thinking about how he used to fight, like, ain't that nuts?
No, 100%, 100%. You know, if I was betting money every UFC card, I'd have to big money on John winning that fight. And I think that it wasn't really unfounded with how Ortega's boxing defense had looked before. But Ortega came out in that second fight, and I've just never seen. Ortega was fighting really well going forwards before, and when he fought going backwards, he'd sort of get hit, or he was just resting and waiting for time to land good counters. And in this fight, he was fighting masterfully on back foot.
Yeah.
Which sort of goes into my sort of like late out.
Only broken up a bit. You little robot man. Well, I've got some good signal there.
Right?
Hello, mate.
Alright.
Alright.
Yeah, which sort of goes into what I'm trying to make the connection about this fight with Ige, is that I think despite Ige's got a lot of the things going for him that, you know, gave Ortega a lot of trouble in that fight. He's got the mix-up of takedowns. He's got he's got great hands. He's got the mix-up of, of wrestling and grappling and kicking and ways to keep Zombie focused on more things than just, countering his boxing. But I think that the fact that Ortega had the length on the Zombie, and the fact that he was fighting so well on the back foot, which I don't think Ige can do as well, is going to play into this matchup.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think he's probably going to have. It's difficult to say he's going to have the boxing advantage, but he's definitely got maybe faster hands and faster feet. But I think he's not as effective on the back foot, like you said. And I think, I think a big part is going to play with this is that Zombie's going to have a lot to prove. Like, I think he's going to really try to come out and smash. But I mean, it could be like, Ige knocked down that boy in like 2 seconds. So Ige knocked down that boy in 2 seconds last fight. So I mean, it could literally be like a banger, like kill him, which would be nuts.
Exactly what I was going to say. It's not something he's known for. That's the only knockout he's ever had in the UFC. And as badly cracked as Jung has an amazing chin. It's only when he just walks onto absolute bombs that he gets knocked out. But he does have one of the better chins at featherweight, I feel.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You can eat.
In terms of I feel like as well. I feel like it's a bit of a crossroads fight for Zombie, because I feel like if he loses this fight to Ige, just because the featherweight division is so stacked right now, I think he's going to have a hard time getting back to contention.
Yeah.
You've got freaking Holloway that's still in the wings. He's probably going to fight the winner of thingy, and then you've got, Zombie's probably going to need 2 fights then to get back into a place where he can fight one of these guys.
I mean, what are the rankings? I mean, yeah.
I know, at the rankings he's 4, but the way the UFC works, when you lose a couple fights, you drop significantly. When you lose one, you sort of keep your place.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But I just think that this is like, it's typically a fight that he's done very well in. I see Ige as like a new age version, a new age sort of version of like Frankie Edgar. They've got differences, but that sort of very well-rounded wrestle boxer style, and I feel like Zombie's done very well against styles like that in the past. He's very good with stifling aggression and stifling forward pressure with excellent timing and counters. So I feel like if he wouldn't be able to do this against Ige, I would worry for him a little bit going forward, because if he can't deal with the sort of forward pressure fighters, and he's also struggling with the fighters going backwards and playing that sort of pointy game, I struggle to know how he's going to get a run up to the title.
You're not wrong. I mean, to be honest with you, it's difficult when he's just a boxer. Like, anyone who's going to kick against him is going to have an advantage. But I mean, you're not wrong. It's pretty wild. I mean, if Ige manages to beat him, then really he's got a real rough road. I mean, he can maybe fight Emmett after that, who's number 6. I think I'd see that fight. I mean, Allen. I'd quite like to see Allen versus Jung, but I think it's a bad matchup for him. Yeah, it's a pretty few rough fights. I mean, the Yair fight is also, if he wins this fight, I reckon the Yair fight's definitely on the cards. If he's
If the Zombie was to win this fight, you think the Yair rematch should be on the cards?
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise, like rankings rise, you got what Volkanovski versus Max, and they're tied up in the freeway. You know, they're going to be fucking doing the trilogy again, and they.
Yeah.
Ortega is now. I don't know who's Ortega doesn't have a fight, does he actually?
Ortega does have a fight. He's booked the champ.
Huh?
Ortega's booked against Volkanovski, but it's in months.
Oh, of course. So I mean, do you reckon Max will fight again? Max might fight Yair.
Yeah, because Max is meant to fight Yair, and he's recently pulled out
Yeah.
a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, by the way, on that note, I mean, did you hear about Giga Chigat? What's his name? Chigadze? What the fuck is his name?
Giga Skadze, yeah, what about him?
Yeah, mate. Oh, mate. Oh, he called out Yair after that, and what a fucking fight that would be. What a
Oh my god.
destroyer fight that would
No
be.
way. You know, Yair is far too picky choosy about who he fights to take that side.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I saw any response from Yair after that shit. But I mean,
Yair's a clever guy. He knows what he's doing. He wasn't trying to jump in there with the beat when he was unranked. He's not going to jump in there with Giga Skadze when he's unranked.
well, he's number 10. But
Yeah, yeah.
Still
You know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
What's Yair coming off? Who's his last win? I forget.
That's a good question. Let me check. Yeah. It's not the zombie fight, is it? Mate, the top questions on Google are like, what's happened to Yair?
The real question is what happens to the beat, man. He's having some real problems with his lungs, isn't he? Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I haven't heard that shit, but I'm not surprised. Yair is coming off a Chan Sung win, and then a Jeremy Stevens eye poke, and then a Jeremy Stevens unanimous decision, where he actually beat up Stevens. Like, wasn't it? Was it first round Stevens, and the rest of it was Yair?
Nah, I think it was first 2 rounds Stevens getting beaten up, and then in the 3rd round, Yair was giving up takedowns to Stevens. And always
Right.
losing.
But I mean, he did go so ham the first 2 rounds. I remember it being like,
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, giving up double to Jeremy Stevens worries me though.
yeah, true. But I don't know if he'd be doing that. I don't know if he'd be doing that if he's playing it smart. Like, I think he really wanted to murder him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's definitely some bad blood in that one.
Yeah.
I do worry about him when he goes in there against another guy that can wrestle for 5 rounds. But here against all these strikers, it's completely fair game.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the fact that his kicking game is actually off like another level. I mean, oh,
Yeah, it really is. He's so fucking kicks like jabs. He's actually so quick. And like you say, it's not like the beat where like they're very, very pretty kicks that have much behind them. Like his kicks are ferocious as well.
And he throws like dangerous kicks as well. Like he throws like spinning wheel kicks and shit like that, like comboed, which is just like fucked. It's beyond fucked. I mean, there's so many good fights for him though.
I feel like he's got like a bit of a thing going on where he can either go completely loose or he's very fundamental. He's not always the best at, in that zombie fight. He's pretty much just a boxer.
Yeah, but I do think that was like a game plan. Like I think that was just for the zombie. Because I mean, with that amount of forward pressure, if you get caught throwing a kick, you're gonna get knocked out.
I feel you, but it was almost losing the fight. He was losing that fight to the last second of the fight.
It's very true. Yeah. Maybe we should have mixed it up. I mean, I would have liked to kick the legs a little bit. It is very strange that he didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, has he done that? Has he done that in many other fights? Which is how? Oh, I guess I haven't seen the Frankie Edgar fight, but I assume he kicked and got taken down.
And it's kind of Jagger fight's not the best example of that. But I mean, I feel like, there's not too much to show. There's not that much take on the beat when he's fighting like top caliber fighters.
Wait, Zabit or yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking about yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. You said Zabit, so I'm getting myself confused.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Charles will sometimes say one person when he completely means the opposite person, but it's all good. We kind of get it by the context. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's kind of crazy, mate. He's got a pretty sick record. It's like 13-2. Like he's only lost. He had literally before the Frank Edgar fight, he went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight winning streak, which is Caceres, Philly, Hooker, Charles Rosa, like BJ Penn, obviously old BJ, but still. He's got some good wins. Man. He's a pretty good beastie.
Yeah, he's got some good wins. He's very like you can only beat who they're in front of you. He's had a lot of problems with not being able to sort out fights and inactivity in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But in terms of in terms of actually beating ranked fighters, he has only really beaten Chan Sung Jung and Jeremy Stevens, though.
Yeah. I mean, Caceres is an alright name.
Dan Hooker. Is that Dan Hooker at featherweight or Dan Hooker at lightweight?
No, it's Dan Hooker at featherweight. Yeah, it's when he was back down at featherweight. He was depleted, but I mean, that's still quite a good win. I mean, he's a good boxer. He can kick, leg kick and shit. He's tall, lanky. I haven't seen that fight, to be honest with you.
That's definitely a great win. Definitely a great win. I think anyone who chooses to kickbox on the feet with Dan Hooker and win, impressive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
yeah, knocked out. Yeah, I mean, he's beaten guys. He's beaten guys, and he looks like he's beating guys in good fashion against fighters that are right on that periphery of top 15, like Andre Fili, right on the periphery of that top 15. Aleksei Oleinik always right on the periphery of that top 15. Dan Hooker was probably in the top 15, and Charles Rosa is right on the periphery of that top 15. And when he stepped in, he had that massive shock to Frankie Edgar. Since then, he bounced back pretty well. But it's like I said, he hasn't really fought a wrestler since he fought Edgar. He did get taken down, I think, 3 times in that last round against Stevens. That does worry me a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he's quite lucky in the fact that there's not that many wrestlers up at the top of the division. But to be fair, I mean, Volkanovski and Ortega up there, to be fair.
Yeah,
so I might be
I think that, a guy like Danny Ige would be a very hard fight for him.
Yeah. But then also Danny Ige backs up and tries to box. Like if you're just kicking a man's arms, he can't really box you. But the wrestling, would be a bit deep, no doubt. I'm sure he's catching kicks. Yeah. Mate, absolute tangent. Let's get back on track. Let's look at the card.
It's a classic. I mean, it's kind of a tangent. We're kind of just like walking ourselves through the featherweight division and the state of the featherweight division at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, too fair. We're running around, Chan Sung Jung and Danny Ige as well. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, let's talk about the other. In my opinion, this card's littered with great fights. You've got 3 bona fide legends on this card. You've got Chan Sung Jung. He's always going to be a legend. He's the zombie. He's been in too many main event fights. I think if he was to retire tomorrow, people would remember the zombie. You've got Matt Brown, the immortal.
He literally is, mate. I watched him against Condit, and he actually doesn't look a step behind it. It's so strange. He looks on it. He doesn't look as angry. But
I feel like his chin is depleted a little bit, but everything else is pretty much the same in that round.
Yeah, isn't it? It's crazy, man. He did some really cool stuff in that fight. I was in the Condit one. He was doing he came out straight off the bat, and he was doing, when you do that shoulder feint / leg feint, where you're kind of leaning over on your right side, and it looks like you go back to kick, and you're about to throw the right.
Yeah.
And then he was mixing up that leg kick and right hand so well. I was actually really impressed. And have you watched it? Did you watch it recently?
The Condit fight? No, I watched a couple of the recent Matt Brown fights, but I didn't watch that one.
Oh, mate. He lands a beaut step-in elbow. A step-in elbow. It's so... I can't remember what he sets it up with, but it's so sick. Just in the middle of the cage as well, not even against Pence.
His finish of Diego Sanchez, I think it was 2 years ago, was my favourite finish of that whole year.
Oh, that is unbelievable.
Just fucking Sanchez goes for a body kick, and he catches the body kick, spinning up with him.
Oh, is this a spinning elbow? I thought he just elbowed him into the ground.
I think it's a spinning elbow.
Let me check this bad boy.
But either way, it's a catch and elbow to the toe. It's an absolute dead man. I mean, I know it's Diego Sanchez, but it doesn't get much better than that.
No. Exactly. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
And then we've got, obviously, so that's 2 of the legends on the card. You've got the immortal Matt Brown, Chan Sung Jung, and of course, Aleksei Oleinik, a man with 74 fights and 59 wins. And that, for a normal man, would be a lot of fights. But you look at Alexander Oleinik, and you think that man could have 3,000 wins, 600 losses. And it wouldn't surprise you. He looks like, a man from times before we knew about people. And the fights like that, a lot of the time. And that's why he's one of my favourites. I can't wait to watch him get in there.
He's literally a dinosaur. I don't know. What kind of dinosaur do you reckon he is if he was a dinosaur? Like, he clobbers.
Cobra, yeah, he might be like, not one of them giant sloths,
Oh, I see
but
that. I see that. A giant athletic sloth. Yeah, fair play.
he's like a giant sloth with really good choke.
Well, I mean, he does kind of slowly wrap them up as well, to be fair to him. Like, a sloth would slowly strangle you to death without you being able to do anything about it.
exactly. It's either that or he just has sort of large snake, isn't he? But,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
But going into this fight, I mean, I've got so much love for Oleinik. He he also fights the Flintstones, the main character of the Flintstones. He's got that sort of that grey hammer in his hand.
Fred.
Yeah, he keeps that rock in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he fights. He fights like he's swinging that about. Right? It's not punches. It's like he's got a weapon in his hand, and he's like swinging at his opponent. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, his hands are basically rocks. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That's basically wrong, yeah. But I think, so I was looking into this fight, and Spivak, I mean, he's got a lot of things going for him in this fight. He's a much larger guy for the division. He's obviously a much younger guy for the division. He's a great grappler in his own right.
Right.
And I think he's got, significantly better striking than Oleinik on the feet, particularly with his defense of looping punches. He's got really good defense of looping punches. He keeps his arms up really high, turns his shoulders, and blocks all the sort of hooks and overhands that are thrown at him mainly.
That is kind of worrying against a man like Oleinik, who just throws overhands.
And he throws a really good, solid jab, and seems to have quite good power in his own right. The only things I say about Spivak is that he's got fairly questionable takedown defense on his own. So I think a lot of this fight is going to be dictated to who's doing the shooting.
Oh, okay. But
and he also holds his body up very straight. He's quite susceptible to leg kicks and body shots. Now, Oleinik doesn't throw many leg kicks, but he does hammer the body. I've watched a few of his fights, and all of his fights, as soon as he gets people up against the cage, he's always working body, head. They're not ferocious shots, but he's looking to the body, which I think will help him in this one.
strange. I didn't know you could throw overhands to the body.
Yeah, I know. It's the thing, but it happens. It's crazy. Like, he doesn't throw any shots to the body out of space. But he touches the body when he's got people up against the cage.
Okay. I mean,
I think his lack of head movement is really going to stifle him in this fight, though, because that's got a really good jab.
yeah, that's kind of worrying. I mean, I always hate it when Oleinik gets tagged a little bit and then he does a sloppy shot, because then it just gets really, like, he doesn't really have a good sloppy shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's Mark Hunt, like, what?
Not the best wrestler.
Not the best.
Horrible striker.
Yeah.
But God damn it, doesn't get the job done sometimes.
Mate, here's hoping for a standing Ezekiel choke to the flop on the ground. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah, which I don't think is, completely. I mean, I imagine Spivak is going to be worrying about that, but I've seen him get controlled against the cage by lesser grappling artists than Oleinik. I think he'll be very conscious. I think Spivak, from what I've seen around, he's a very clever fighter, and I'd be quite surprised if he wouldn't find a way to beat Oleinik.
Right. Okay.
This seems to have pretty good. Hardly any. I think only 2 of Spivak's fights have gone to decision, and I think only 5 out of 70 fights of Oleinik have gone to decision as well, or 10. So I mean, I'd be pretty. If I was a betting man, I'd probably bet under the distance.
It's fair. It's a good bet. I mean, who would you pick to win? I mean, so let's say, so you're gonna pick Spivak to win, and I'll pick Oleinik to win.
That's good. I like it.
So,
I'd guess probably round 1 or round 2. Spivak. I think he's gonna catch. I think he's gonna be able to catch Oleinik with jabs early. Oleinik will shoot. The problem is, I think if Oleinik goes in there and he shoots regularly, I think he'll have a far better fight. It's just whether he's got the gas tank to be able to do that 15 rounds for enough over the period. If he can get Spivak down early, his chances are through the roof, and obviously, an Oleinik submission is just never off the cards. But I don't think Spivak's really been down there on the mat with someone as good as Oleinik in his career.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that, you know, the massive, like, who was that? Who's the, I'll tell you his name, 1 second. Spivak. You watched him the other day. 1 sec. Yes. That's his name, Carlos Felipe. You know Carlos Felipe, who you watched the other day? He sneakily won a decision. You didn't think he'd won it. He's Brazilian. He's quite fat. He's a heavyweight, and he throws a lot of those straights to the body. And,
Vaguely, who was he fighting?
Aggressive. He was like the Brazilian fat guy that I told you was going to be quite tenacious. He ended up being really passive-style fight.
Yeah. Who was he fighting again?
Yeah, I'd have to look. Let me check.
Oh, I'll check.
Anyway,
Oh, he's fucking Jake Collier. Yeah. And I like Jake's work as well. It was kind of lame. I really didn't think he won that at all. That was pretty lame.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. I don't think I ever watched it.
Oh man, he's one of these heavyweights. Oh, bro, he's just one of these heavyweights who's decision everyone. Like all his 4 fights in the UFC have been decisions. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, I don't know, because he's a really good shot.
True.
Yeah,
He's got that.
I've seen it. So that game was absolutely clean, right through the guard, like.
Oh, Mr. Robot is back. Don't hack me. Yeah.
And he ate him like it was nothing. I was pretty impressed with it. But anyway, the main thing of that was really that, what's his name? Is it Carlos? What's his name?
Felipe.
Carlos Felipe. He was doing really well. He was just the whole fight with Spivak. He was just trying to stalk Spivak, moving his head a lot, and getting out of the way of quite a lot of jabs in a way that I can't really imagine Oleinik doing.
Yeah.
And you know, and throwing leg kicks. And I think that, you know, there's the thing, like head movement away from the jab, because Spivak throws a lot of just empty jabs by themselves.
Right.
I think if Oleinik had the ability to, you know, duck under that one jab, throw his own right hand, he'd have a lot more success in it. But I just don't see him having the reflexes to do that. Maybe he can shoot under the jab.
Yeah.
As well as
I was gonna say, I mean, like, you know, if I was a better man, which I'm now not so much as, but I would definitely bet on an Oleinik overhand knockout just for fucking bounce, like 50p on maybe a second round.
Like I said, man, Spivak does so well with overhand shots.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if he's throwing out jabs, I reckon Oleinik, I believe in him. I just, you know, I have unbelievable belief in Oleinik. And I want to believe that he could slip a jab and land an overhand. I mean, I don't think he has any sort of timing. He doesn't have any timing, which is the worst thing about it. But, you know, does what he can.
He certainly has weirder feet than I like. When I was looking at Oleinik's fights, like he's super ungainly with his footwork, but he does do weird stuff with his feet to cover the distance in a way that Carlos Felipe wasn't. Like, Carlos Felipe's really quite flat-footed, moves his head nicely, his trunk, and then his hands were definitely significantly faster than Oleinik's would be, but he wasn't doing the same sort of tricks that Oleinik. Oleinik's very reckless with his foot positioning, that he'll just dive around with his legs to try and land shots on you. It puts himself in danger, but it also helps him land these reckless shots. So it's true. You know, Spivak's a tall guy, and he can definitely get caught with those overhands. If Oleinik's being weird about it.
Yeah.
But I would bet on it.
No, it's fair. I mean, I'd bet 50p. But I mean, he had a fucking. What was it? Didn't he look really in shape for? Was it the Lewis fight he looked great shape for? Or was it the.
No, unbelievable. One of the most goated performances ever was him just fucking going pure cardio machine on and out striking Fabrizio for 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was like one of his best performances. He looked amazing. Looked so good.
Right, fucking lying down with his feet up in between rounds. Throw water on his head. What a man.
Oh, and then he came out. Oh, then he tried to go. Oh, and then he fought Derek Lewis. Couldn't strangle a man with no neck.
It's probably one of the weirdest fights. Very much confuses me that a guy with 59 submissions didn't fight a bigger variety of submissions when he had so much control of those scenarios.
He said he had like a special move for him, but he just didn't bet on Derek having too thick of a neck. Like,
Derek just outsticked him. Just fucking, I'm straight up Texas. I'll just beat you by being thicker, fatter in the neck.
But it's actually too funny. Like, best bit in that fight, no doubt, is when Oleinik tries like that scarf hold for about 4 minutes of a round and then just laughs. He's just laughing at how ridiculous it is he can't get this submission. And then he goes in the next round and just gets knocked out because he knows it's not going to happen. He gassed himself so hard. Great shit.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I mean, it kind of seemed like he was taking it a little bit too nonchalant, but I mean, I think he genuinely did find it funny that he couldn't get this guy out. My favourite part of that fight is just Lewis just instantly grappling from the start.
Yeah.
And getting taken down instantly. Like, that's it.
Oh. It's a great game plan. It's a great game plan, mate. It's a great game plan.
Because he's got a little bit of that about him as well, Oleinik. Sometimes he has a little bit of the Magni effect. Like sometimes he'll push you with pressure, and then he'll just slyly, without you realise, back up to the fence just so that you clinch him so he can clinch you back.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen that before. That's pretty sneaky.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that when I was looking at his older fights.
That's cool. That's cool.
And it's like, earlier in his career, he was definitely not as active from the bottom. He's got a lot better at being active with his. Like he's always been very active from the bottom with his arms. He's very good at trying to get those scarf hold chokes, trying to apply pressure to the neck with the forearms, and trying to underhook these arms and go for all these things with his arms. But earlier in his career, he didn't seem to work very much with his legs off his back.
And
now he seems like he's working a little bit. He's working a little bit harder to get these sweeps and things like that.
That's
because Oleinik does the very, very vast majority of his best work from the top, despite all the scarf holds and stuff. So he gets a lot of those scarf holds from top full guards and top mounts.
I was gonna say, yeah. He does a lot of his best work on top, but I mean, I guess in the UFC, hasn't he got most of his submissions from the bottom? I'm trying to think, like, Zika's.
No, he got that one. He got the one from. It's kind of from bottom, isn't it? But it's like, I mean, he's got hardly any submissions that he's completely just. I think he's got the one submission he's actually got straight up from the bottom. The other one he got standing up and then just fell into that bottom position.
Is there only two?
Different.
Yes.
Than working off your back to get the submission.
True. I guess.
It's not like you got taken down. But but yeah, I think I still think that if you look at him against Badoom, I mean Badoom's a hard one because obviously you're not going to fight many better grapplers than Badoom. And it's very hard to submit Badoom off his back, of course, but he looks far more dominant in positions, or he looks far more comfortable in positions where he's on top than on the bottom against Badoom.
I can see that. Which is kind of weird because I mean Badoom was obviously a bottom player. You'd thought he'd be a little bit freaked out.
Yeah, it's just most jiu-jitsu and MMA is just working from the top, isn't it? Unless you're flapping up, unless you're fucking Ryan Hall and you're just leg locking people all day long.
Yeah, too right. I mean, it's just difficult because you got them. Obviously, everybody talks about it, but it's a ground and pound, isn't it? The ground and pound, they just fuck you. Like when you're trying to go for something or figure out, go for grab their arm up or anything like that. You're trying to use your legs, and they'll just elbow you.
That's the thing. That's the thing of Oleinik as well. He's so comfortable on the ground, and sometimes he's comfortable on the bottom. But by God, he just stays in bad situations. He's horrible ground and pound sometimes.
Oh, did you? I'm guessing Curtis Blade munched him up pretty roughly.
Oh man.
Ugh. Yeah. Mr. Roboto.
He's young. Oleinik is old, and he's by a lot of these guys, especially a guy like Curtis Blade, significantly outside, especially as a grappler.
Yeah, I mean Curtis is a big old boy though. Big old boy. Right. Let's crack on to the next one because I feel like I've been chatting about this for a minute. Let's talk about Matt Brown versus.
Oleinik's the man. He's always going to get something in the of my time, but I do get it.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it. He's a man of the game. He's probably good. I mean, how many fights do you reckon he's got left? Like, last point. How many fights do you reckon he's got left?
That's what I mean. I mean, personally, I do think that the punch resistance of Oleinik is really quite small now. Like, I don't think he can take a punch very well, really, at all. So, you know, I think if he was to get stopped again by Spivak, I'd definitely like to see him call it a day.
I mean, mate, he's at 59 wins, bro.
I know. And there's just a million winnable fights for him in the
Yeah,
UFC.
yeah, all these huge heavyweights just fall over, like.
Especially these like huge heavyweights that like think they've got a bit of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like aren't like the wrestling ones that are like the Maurice Green is a perfect example. That's the big black dude in the heavyweight division who like he got a couple of submissions off his back and he fought the doom, and then you go in there against Oleinik, you get absolutely smoked. Like if you can stop the takedown against Oleinik, then you know really if you're UFC caliber, you should be able to deal with Oleinik on the feet. But if you can't stop that takedown, you're in for a world of pain.
I mean, who we got? It's difficult. There's actually not a lot of terrible heavyweights that are at the bottom of the division, I think, nowadays. It's weird. I mean, heavyweight kind of looks not too terrible, to be honest with you. Like you got, look, 8 to 15 is Tabura, Augusta Sakai, Chris Dolkus, Walt Harris, Blagoy Ivanov, Tom Aspinall, and Sergey Pavlovich, and then Oleinik.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just getting more and more athletic. It's going to be hard for Oleinik to compete, but you know, he's just got that equaliser, hasn't he? He's got the equaliser with the jiu-jitsu, like other people have got the equaliser with the knockout power. You know he can get a win along the way, but I would like to see him if he was to get stopped again to call it a day. Such a ledge already. He's got wins in 3 different decades.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he needs to prove anything. He's not going to prove anything. Like the 60 wins would be lovely.
Realistically, he's not going to get to he's not getting to a title shot.
Nah, exactly. I mean, yeah, no doubt. I would only like the 60 wins because of the sexy or the round numbers. What? Oh, him versus Struve, mate. Oh, why did that never happen? Fucking hell.
That would have been great, wouldn't it? That was great.
Mate, that would have actually been amazing. Oh, 2 weird, creepy strikers creeping about. Maybe some jits had happened. I'm sure Oleinik could try and ragdoll that man, no doubt. He'd take him down. Try to.
I also think they can go him, Greg Hardy.
Yeah, is Hardy even in the rankings now? Hold on, I just checked. I don't think I saw him there. Am I being an idiot? Or... No, mate, he's not in the rankings. Oh, mate, you're a robot now.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can always hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, mate. You just keep on like getting. I don't know. It sounds like you're purring or like you're talking through a synth or something like that. You know when you're talking to. You know when you're talking to like a fan.
Yeah, I can get exactly what you mean. Yeah. Mr. Roboto, man. That's all you got to say.
Mr. Roboto. Mr. Roboto. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about one of these other fights then. So.
Right.
The big rematch between Katie Grant and Marlon Vera.
Oh wait. Can we let's finish up the legends. Let's finish up the legends moves. Matt Brown versus Diego Luna.
Let's go. Go on.
Right. So I was looking up at these boys. I looked up Matt Brown's that first most recent win, which was the Condit one, which I think he looked pretty good in. Looked pretty athletic. Obviously it was Condit, so he wasn't going to get knocked out. But like you know, he looked good. He tried to wrestle a little bit. Wasn't successful with wrestling, but still, no, he did actually do some wrestling. In the second round, he managed to wrestle him, but he didn't get. It was funny, honestly. So, as soon as either one of these boys got a takedown, the other one just couldn't get up. Like, literally, Condit got Matt Brown down, I think in the third, and he just couldn't get up for shit.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like beautiful little like step through sweep?
Yeah, the one that Liam did against Nate. Yeah. It was beaut. I mean, Leon's was actually cleaner though. I'll be honest with you, much cleaner. Like,
Yeah, man, Leon's was filthy, weren't they? God damn.
God damn it.
Like, I've been waiting for someone to do that for those sloppy Diaz boys. Like, you can just do that shit. You're strong as fuck compared to fucking lots of those back. That's good shit, that. I love seeing that. The timing on that's great.
I mean, anyone with that like bladed stance
Matt
is...
Brown, so Condit, how did, refresh my mind, how did the striking look in that fight?
Striking looked pretty interesting. It was obviously clear that Matt Brown had the power. Condit was like, because the thing is that obviously Matt Brown is so Muay Thai. Both of them are kind of Muay Thai-ish, right? So Matt Brown came in with that high guard, you know, like slowly plodding from the center towards Condit, which I don't think normally would have worked, but because Matt Brown was doing that shoulder feint and that leg feint, it meant that Condit was either backing up ready for the leg kicks, because he was actually throwing leg kicks, Matt Brown, and the straight, but like Condit was just backing up and he was kind of a little bit worried about that. Still throwing, still being a G, but circling a lot and allowing himself to get pressured. It's strange in that, for me, it was kind of strange because Condit won that fight on the decisions, but to me it looked like Matt Brown won it. Like, he clearly won the first, and I thought he won the second, but no, I thought he won the third. I think Condit got the second because of the takedown, but Matt Brown was definitely landing the damage. And it was a good old fight. It was actually a bit of a banger, to be honest with you. It was two legends actually looking like themselves. Do you know what I mean? Which is not usually what you get.
That's the thing. The thing with Condit is that, like, I feel like Matt Brown's chin is sort of deteriorating, but you sort of doesn't really matter because Condit's not the biggest puncher at this stage of his career. But I think it's a bit of I feel like Condit has kept his chin. That's like one of the only, he's lost a little bit of his explosion, lost a bit of his stuff, but he's kept his chin. And Matt Brown's still as ferocious as ever. Still looks like he gets to the fucking steam train when he hits you. But his chin is a little bit more perfect.
A little bit sus, but I mean, I think he looked all right. Not gonna lie. But I mean, it's crazy that Condit still got his chin, because he has been in some absolute wars. Like, he does eat.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the Lawler fight. That's crazy.
I've seen bits of it. I mean, it's 5 round. That's one of the fights where boys put all of themselves in that ring, like just laid it all out.
Yeah, 100%. And his fight with GSP as well is crazy. Like, just blood, guts, and glory all the time for Condit. He's definitely, like, I see why he was a fan favourite early on.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he's got that crazy unorthodox style. Like, you don't know where them kicks are coming from. But I feel like it's a little bit outdated now. Like, people see a lot of the stuff coming, but earlier people just weren't seeing any of it coming.
Yeah. Well, the thing is the problem is with him, you just kind of know that he's going to end with a kick most of the time. He'll like throw a couple of hands that aren't too damaging, and then he'll throw a kick. Like, it's quite easy to predict a little bit, but he's still got some really creepy moves, and he looks great. You know, like I mean, the fact that he's landed that step in is like he's still reinvented the game. You know, he's still
exactly. He's still learning new things. Takedown defense still is what it is.
It's very sad. It's very sad. Boy's got no hips whatsoever. Never learned to get up either. He just didn't need that part of his game, apparently. He was like, nah, mate. I'm losing all these fights on decisions because I'm getting road, but nah, don't need it. Fuck that shit. Fuck, that's for pussies.
What about his opponent, Diego Lima? Do you know anything about him?
Yeah, so I watched Lima's. I think I watched 2 of his fights just now. He's quite similar to his brother. Likes to get backed up. Likes to not throw very much until he really needs to. Until he's losing a fight, basically. Like, I think in this one, the way it's going to look is Matt Brown's going to be pressuring him. Lima's going to be accepting it. And I actually think that it's going to be either really boring, because it's going to be Matt Brown backing him up and like Lima just kind of like accepting it, maybe like worrying him with a little bit of the hands, and Matt Leach being a little bit like, because Matt can tend to be like, he's had some fights where he's looked really lackluster because he's just kind of like played down to his level.
I wrote the same thing on my notes.
Yeah,
I expect this could definitely turn into a bit of a shit show.
Could be an absolute shit show, but I mean, it's one of them ones where Matt Brown just lost his most recent fight, so hopefully he's got a chip on his shoulder. Hopefully he wants to come in there and murder someone. You know, I think he could actually land a lot of damage on Lima. Lima's probably got, because Lima's not super fast. He's not actually got crazy hand speed or crazy foot movement or like step-ins or anything like that. And he doesn't throw that many combos. Brown's defense is pretty good. So it's So Brett Brown's coming off that decision loss to Condit, and he's not had a win since 2019, which was over Ben Saunders, who bless him, didn't have in the
it's crazy though, because I mean, just read out a couple of these. I mean, read out maybe his last two. I think it's the one before this. Read out his last two losses.
Matt.
Yeah.
He lost against Condit, and then he lost against Miguel Baeza, who's at 10-1 though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Miguel Paeza, he was piecing Paeza up, looking amazing in there, looking really good, landing elbows, landing boxing. And he just got donked and couldn't take it.
Oh, is it? Fair play. Oh, yeah. Says it.
Really sharp in that fight. What?
So the stats here are saying 2 knockdowns for Baeza and 42 out of 79 and 33 out of 61 stats wise. Mr. Roboto coming for a bottle. So yeah, I mean that one could be good, could be sad. I mean, I have a feeling because Diego's not the like best boxer that it's actually going to be a bit of a banger, to be honest with you. Because I mean, maybe Diego's going to be throwing a lot of shit. Matt's going to be able to evade like quite easily, because I don't think Diego throws like maybe like 1 3-piece a match. Like he really is not very active at all. It's just whether or not, if Diego accepts being backed up, I think it's going to be a boring fight. But I think if he doesn't and knows he's got to stay in the ring and fight him, stay in the middle of the ring and fight him, then it could be a bit of a banger. But yeah. We'll see.
I kind of agree with your assessment. I feel like a lot of I think it's clear that Matt Brown's going to be playing the aggressor in this fight.
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like Lima's very timing heavy. He's just looking to perfectly time you on a shot.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he catches something, but I don't know. I feel like Lima's a little bit more powerful than you're laying on, but maybe not.
He's got some leg power and stuff like that, but he's not as powerful as his brother, no doubt. And like it's the same problem. He throws on the back foot. Like it's difficult to land that much damage when you throw on the back foot. Like his hands are all right. What's his KOs and how many KOs has he got in the fight? 17-8, which is not a great record. He got beat by Bilal, which looks sad in.
I mean, he's fighting fucking 24-18, so it's a nice salty record.
Yeah. Too right. I'll give you that. I mean, actually, Lima's he's got 1 knockout over Chad Little Mouse Face Surprise. Oh man, fucking hell! Did you know this? You know he fought. Oh mate, he's had a couple in 2015. He had a really bad 2 fights. So he lost against the Dirty Bird, Tim Means.
Yeah.
KO'd in the first round, bro.
Oh god damn.
Yeah.
That's sick. I need to watch that, man.
Me too, bro. I mean, Dirty Bird ain't even that big of a puncher, but like crazy. And then after that, so he had January, March. Oh mate, he had 2 months off, came back and fought Ling Ji Lang. Yeah.
The leech. Why did you do that?
He wanted to pain, mate, and he got it. He got knocked out in the first round again. Brutal.
Oh, that's good. That's bad career management there, man. UFC fighters all over there.
Oh, mate. I mean, no wonder he plays on the back foot nowadays if he got knocked out twice in a row.
It's unbelievable to play to fight Tim Means, who's like a very technical, good guy, but a little bit washed, definitely on the underside of it, get knocked out in the first round, and then the UFC's be like, alright, leech.
Yeah. Not only that, 2 months after, bro. 2 months after.
2 months after, yeah. It's like, not even really legally cleared, getting knocked out, the leech.
Oh.
Good.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Like Diego Lima's record is really sad. It's really quite sad. Like, let me just read out 2014 when he first came into the UFC. I guess it was a tough bout. He came through tough, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, fine, a middleweight as well. He's fine a middleweight. Wow, I didn't know that. But got KO'd in the first round in a minute by Eddie Gordon, right? And then he managed to get a decision, and then he got them 2 KO losses in the first rounds again in 2015. and then he got submitted in 2017. So he took a year out, got submitted, and then came back in 2018, lost the decision. So that's crazy. He's had.
Man, how is he still in the UFC? Like 5 of his 8 losses have been in the UFC. Crazy.
Mate, not only that, mate. Oh, wait, oh no. Oh, okay. All right. So he had 5 losses, and then he knocked out Chad Laprise in round 1, which I've got to kind of watch, and then he beat Court McGee, which is kind of testy. Like I was watching a little bit of that fight, and it looked like Court was winning, but I mean, it could have been the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, it could have turned. I mean, I've definitely watched fights where Lima fought before, which I can kind of understand why they don't cut him in a way that, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of these first round boxes, which is a kind of different story, but there's been a lot of fights where he looked like he definitely could be winning the fight if he chose to let his hands go, but he wasn't. He looked like he, had the timing of the guy, but wasn't doing it. But, a lot of what you're saying here is a bit worrying.
It's a bit worrying. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know who I'd back. A man who gets knocked out versus Matt Brown. Like, I think.
Yeah, it's worth a few sneaky shekels on Matt Brown. You know what I think?
Yeah, put a couple of shells on that, a couple of clams, no doubt. Right. So that's that one. That's that one done. Who the fuck else we got?
So who's your favourite legend of the card? Matt Brown, Oleinik, or Chan Sung-jung?
Oh man, I think it's got to be. I don't know, mate. They're all great. I mean, I love Oleinik for the meme ability of him. Like the fact that he's just like some anaconda dinosaur hybrid. Like it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, the foal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. His cranium alone impresses me. But like Matt Brown, he's got great style. I think Chan Sung-jung is probably my favourite. Out of, naming them 2 boys, Chan Sung-jung is probably my favourite. He's such a goat, mate. Such a goat. I love his slipping. I love his boxing. Like, he's a power hitter. I think he's had a bad last performance, so it's kind of like making me a little bit hesitant to say he's my favourite, but he's probably my favourite.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to technique, out of all these boys, he's got some techers, isn't he? The way he flips the jab and throws the right hand, is just a thing of beauty. You don't get much of it in MMA the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And just the pressure that he puts on as well is pretty amazing to watch. Do you know what I mean?
He's got fucking rocks in his hands as well.
Yeah. Exactly. He's throwing some meat about, no doubt.
And he fucking pulled the twister off.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. There's always that shit going on. Like, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Dan Ige wants to try and wrestle him or not. Like,
yeah, 100%. I definitely feel as though, like, if they get into the long, extended grappling thingy, like, Jung will end up on top in scenarios. And he's got fucking horrible ground and pound. He's so vicious. He's always looking for damage. So I think it's definitely got potential for fight of the night. But I think I'm going to give. I think it's got potential for fight of the night with the grappling scenario and up on the feet and everything. I don't think it's more exciting.
I feel you. But mate, I want to put my bet down for fight of the night. I'm gonna go Marlon Vera, David Grant. I think it's gonna be the one. Mr. Roboto, come back to me.
Especially against the rematch. I think that makes both fighters turn up a little bit more. They're in there with.
Yeah, exactly. And Vera's gonna have a lot to prove in this one. A lot to prove. I think he might even start off. Go on.
Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say I think it's gonna be Vera in the middle of the cage and Davey doing the outside work.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think definitely he's got a lot better. Vera's got a lot better at holding his feet and being composed with his hands. Whilst the boy's a lot more younger in his career. He's a lot more of like had some boxing, but mainly a kickboxing with jiu-jitsu. And I think now he's way more of a well-rounded mixed martial artist. So.
I think so.
Fucking David Grant just brings a level of intensity every time I see him fight, which is just very, very, very impressive.
Yeah, mate. Oh, mate. David Grant does some beautiful shit. Honestly, I love the work he does, mate. Honestly, he's got.
Honestly, definitely England's best hope at bantamweight.
Yes. English boys, mate. English boys. Come on, the football team.
Boys, mate. He's our first big hope at bantamweight since Brad Pickett, the boy.
Legend, the absolute legend. Gee, I wish I'd been around when Brad Pitt was fighting, mate. That would have been amazing. It really would have been.
You wish you'd what?
I wish I was around when Brad Pitt was fighting. Like,
Yeah, how gassy did you feel when he fucking beat DJ?
I saw. Did DJ have the belt then, or was he fighting?
Nah, he wasn't. He was just some little, like, fucking talented, and, like, I think he'd only ever taken one loss. Still very impressive. I mean, you're only a little bit bigger than DJ. Very impressive. Very impressive, always.
No doubt. No.
That chick has got some skills, man. He's a cool fighter. But I think this is my call for the sort of, like, the sleeper of the night, if you will.
What, Molinaro Grant?
No. I'm going for Kalos Williams versus Matthew Shemlenberg.
All right. We'll discuss that, but I do want to go back to Grant because I do want to discuss some of the tricks he does. Like, they're pretty sexy.
Okay. It's nice. Give me a technical breakdown. Let's go.
Oh, you want to go to a little breakdown now?
No. Just tell me what you think about how you envision this Grant Vera fight happening.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to start it off by just saying, like, I watched that Grant knockout against his most recent one against, what's his name? Let me check. Against Martinez.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, he did some of the shit he did in that fight. He does a lot in other fights, but he looked sharp as fuck. Like, he did some sharp shit in that one. Like, he did, the knockout, which was the fucking sickest, slickest thing. He'd been doing it all fight as well. He did the in the pocket switch stance, which is literally just a jump. Like, he did the left hook sometimes. He did left hook, right hook sometimes. But this one, he went switch stance, left hook to the body, or right hook to the body, overhand.
Yeah.
And it was just all left hook. Oh, it was so clean, mate. That switch stance in the pocket is actually, like, makes people want to throw. Makes people want to throw, isn't it? It's actually a creepy ass move, and he used it to defend as well. He did the switch stance, waited for him to throw, and then backed off at one point. Like, he did that quite a few times. It was so cool. I love that shit.
Yeah, 100%. He's got some very weird moves to cover distance. I love it.
It wasn't even covering distance though, bro. He was in the pocket. He's like standing in front of the man, could punch him, he could get punched, and he switches stance. He literally jumps into other stance, and he did that. He did the what's it called? He did like a little bit of a shuffle with his feet. You know, where he goes backwards and forwards with them. Yeah. Loved all of that work, mate. Loved all of that work. He managed to land a really clean ass. So he was in regular stance, right, and he managed to land a rear right hook to the body and then a rear right hook to the head at one point. He just creeped it out. It's so cool.
That is very nice. It's very nice. Yeah, I love the constant body work and the constant angles that he throws punches at.
Yeah.
Constantly, he's mixing up these straight shots and these looping shots. But just very, very fucking. How do you think that how's the grappling happen in the first fight? Do you think the grappling's going to play a part in it? Do you think it'll maybe pay on the feet?
Well, what's kind of interesting is that, like, Grant, they talked about Grant being a grappler or having success in grappling. As a commentary, and I was quite surprised with that because I've only seen him really do well on the feet. But in the first fight with Vera, he actually managed to hold his own on the ground quite well. Managed to lay on top of him in full guard for quite a lot, for quite a while in the third round. Personally, what I actually watched, I really quickly watched the Sean O'Malley Vera fight, right, mate?
Yeah.
Although Vera lands that one beautiful kick, like, Sean fucks him right up with the switch stance and the feinting and the boxing and, like, the kicking. The frequent kicking really did him a lot. Like, it fucked up. Vera just couldn't really do anything. And I don't know if he was waiting out the round, but, like, he didn't throw anything apart from that one kick. Like, really didn't. So, I worry for him. I worry that if he's become more patient that he's just going to get chopped up. But I do think that he's got the more power. Like, Grant has got some really creepy, slick stuff. So I think he could probably end up winning decision. That's probably what I'd go with.
Yeah, I think that Vera is typically, like you're saying, quite, because he's got very like slick movement. He's very reactionary. Reminds me of Masvidal early in his career time. He quite easily backs up the feint because he's trusting his defense and he fights to defense.
Yeah, he probably just thinks that something's going to come at some point, and he's just like, "That's fine, bro. It's all good. It's all good." Like Masvidal does, thinks he's going to win it either way.
Yeah, so I can definitely see what you're saying. I think that Davey keeps the pressure, keeps the pressure going, keeps doing all the tricks that you're saying. And I think I'd only watched the one fight with Grant. I went back and watched another one after you showed me the Vera fight. I didn't think he was such a active kicker either. He's quite active with his kicks, everything. Like, you know, he's just very awkward in general. He's throwing a lot at you. I think I do like David Grant in this fight as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, me too. I mean, I think it's weird because he does eat leg kicks quite a lot. Like he doesn't really check anything. He doesn't get out of the way because he's switch dancing a lot in the pocket. He's just there for him. Like every fight I've watched of his, he does eat kicks. So I do worry about that. That's the one element I think is good. Could be a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, I just think there's and it looked like they were fairly even in the grappling regard, like you were saying. But you know, what I mean, I feel like Davey, you know, he definitely like I've watched like his first. Like, I've watched one of his earlier fights, and I've watched him knock out the dude recently, and I just watched that Vera fight. But I think his base is grappling, heavy grappling. But he looks like he's got a lot more, you know, just tenacious. It looks like he's changed his mentality. He sort of fights a little bit more like a striker now.
Yeah, I mean, he's very like, he's very ballsy as a striker. Do you know what I mean? To be switch dancing in the pocket, to be like doing stuff, like he's really confident with some of the shit he throws as well. Like he does that stutter step kick. He did that like twice straight off the bat against Vera. Do you know what I mean? Where he like stutters and you kind of like know he's gonna throw a kick or like know he's gonna run at you or something like that and makes you block high and he just kicks his leg. He's got some.
I just like the body work from him in this fight as well. You know what I mean? Like Vera's very good at keeping his hands up and leaning away from shots and parrying shots with his hands and things like that. But like, you go to the body, it opens up a lot. And Davey's just so consistent with going to the body.
Yeah. I think he's going to probably end up overwhelming him with the work that he does, because Vera's probably just going to end up being defensive, and Grant's going to carry on throwing combos at him and stuff. But I think that's on the slide going to be. That's my vote for fight of the night, no doubt.
Fight of the night, yeah, it's very, very much not a bad shout, mate. Very much not a bad shout. He's a freaking I mean, Chito Vera as well. Like, you've got to think as well. Like, David Grant, they look like very well matched fighters, and David Grant obviously won their rematch and is coming off a lot more momentum than Vera is. But at the same time, Vera's gone in there and been in the ring with people like Sean O'Malley, who we know is going to become like a top 5, top 10 talent. He's gone in there and been in there with guys like Aldo. Like, he's taken some big steps up recently in class, so maybe it'll take a little bit of pressure off him fighting someone he doesn't hold in such high regard.
I see that. I mean, along that note, you know, I mean, I think composure might play a big part in it. You know, Grant does tend to spunk himself. Like, he throws a lot, and he doesn't really stop throwing. So, like, maybe in the later rounds, Vera could find something. He's heavy hitter, like I said.
Yeah, it's true. Marino is very good at conserving his energy.
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fucking fight. What was the one you were thinking of this fight of the night?
Not as much fight of the night, but maybe just sort of like under the radar fight of the night. I think the Zombie with a point to prove after that last fight, and Dan Ige coming off that recent KO. I think that's probably going to be fight of the night.
It's a very fair shout. Yeah, it's a very fair shout.
But in terms of like the sleeper of the night, I think I'm going to give it to Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams coming off of he knocked out Abdul Razak Hassan with that beautiful straight as Hassan was going for the leg kick.
Ooh, not too sure I do remember that, but wait,
He put Razak in an absolute coffin, made him completely stiff. Razak went for the perfect MMA counter. Razak goes for the rear leg kick and with his hands down, and Chaos just catches him dink right on the chin of a perfect right hand.
Wait, where's Chaos Williams on this card, bro?
He's called Kaylin Williams, and he is on prelims 1, 2, 3, 4 fights at the bottom.
Are you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Oh okay. So he lost against Michael Pereira, which is understandable.
Yeah, it's very understandable. And Pereira, I think Pereira is a top 10 talent easily at middleweight. He's just got such great moves. He's so big. He's so tall. I mean, he's got all the skills if he fights normally like a normal person. Just get in the top 10.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, yeah, he's a very tricky fighter to be fighting, no doubt. I mean, it's crazy. This Chaos Williams, bro.
Pretty athletic, so big for a welterweight as well.
Mate, Chaos Williams has got two under 30 seconds. His first two fights in the UFC are under 30 seconds KOs.
I'm saying, mate, and this other boy is coming off. Matthew Schellenberger has got three. He's coming off three finishes, two submissions, and one knockout.
Two submissions. Oh, what's Chaos look like on the ground? As he's grappling?
See, yeah, I mean, this is a bit of an issue, but he's just so freakishly athletic.
Right.
He's just been able to, get up. And I don't think that Schellenberg's chain wrestling is good enough to hold Chaos down. But I might be wrong.
Okay.
But I think that this is mainly going to play out on the feet. Schellenberg's got really good leg kicks and a really good jab. But he holds his head a little bit straight in the air when he's coming in for combinations. I think he can definitely get caught. And Chaos Williams has got incredible power and just amazing finishing instincts. But at the same time, I think that I think the leg kick, Schellenberg throws them heavy, and he throws them behind a jab, and he doesn't throw them naked like Razak was when he got caught. I think he's going to have some success with the leg kick. Maybe he'll get to Chaos early, but I expect Chaos to get the job done.
Fair play. I like that. What, do you reckon he's going to catch him on the leg kicks?
I think you either catch him on the leg kick or just catch him as he's got a few set combinations he likes to throw Schellenberg, where he doesn't move his head very much while he throws them. He's got certain things he throws, like he throws a nice jab and he always stuffs it out to the left, always dips. He's got very good fundamentals in some things, but he's got a few attacks that he just rushes in there with and doesn't move his head very much. I mean, he's going to get caught.
Okay, alright, I see that. Sounds like a bit of a fucking wild one.
There's a bit of a sleeper there. Just a bit of a beauty. I think Chaos Williams, if he can, at times he looks really wild, and at times he looks really good. I think if he can, really hone his skills and hone his talents, he can be a definite problem for years to come.
Well, what's he? Who did he? What's it called? Who did he? Has he lost any fights? He lost the decision against Pereira. Did he look a little bit wild in that one? Did he?
He lost say again?
The decision against Pereira. Did he look a little bit wild in that one? Was it?
He looked a bit wild at times. Like Pereira was being very awkward from a distance, attacking his legs, poking him. Being really, really good with the jab, stepping in with the jab, fighting really fundamental, and mixing in good kicks. And he was also I don't know. Yeah, he kind of got. Chaos came in thinking that he could just time Pereira, and Pereira didn't give him the opportunity to time him. And then as it became clear that Chaos wasn't going to land just the one shot, he started winging shots a little bit much and getting himself out of position. I think he got taken down by Pereira a couple times.
Right. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, Pereira's got jits, isn't he?
Yeah, Pereira's got jits. He's got timing, and he's just. Yeah, I think he's actually just a problem when he fights properly.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's got everything that he needs to. He's got all the athleticism and he's got the weapons and the length and the he's got like you said, timing. Actually, he's got very, very good timing. To land flying knees, he does land flying knees pretty consistently, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And from man that literally kind of sometimes fall back at the time, he's just cardio really well. His cardio.
Sorry, mate, you're breaking up a little bit. Still, Mr. Roboto, can't hear you.
Are we back?
Oh yeah, here we go, mate. Here we go.
I'm just saying, for a man that throws a lot of, does a lot of unorthodox techniques, in his fight against Connolly, where he got wrestled by the much smaller man that he just took really not seriously and stuff. He got really gassed in that fight, but he's literally doing backflips and backflips and backflips and backflips. But when he fights normally, for a guy his size, I think he's got a really good gas tank.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, when he throws jabs and that lot, when he doesn't just spunk himself, yeah, he looks good actually, doesn't he?
Yeah. So there's a bit of that. Yeah, I mean, that's a good learning fight for a young fighter fighting a guy like Pereira. I think it just gives you it lets you know that there's certain guys that you're not going to be able to just sit back and time on. You're really going to have to put pressure on them and make them make mistakes on their own. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I mean, this card is just littered with good fights, really, all throughout. I mean, there's a couple of these women's flyweights and women's strawweights I'm not too familiar with, but they're coming in with good records, like 12-1 versus 16-2.
Well, I mean, what was I saying last week, innit? Like the past 3 cards, we've had an equal amount of knockouts in the women's strawweight division as the women's the women's flyweight division. Wait on a sec. Oh, okay. So the women's flyweight division has had 3 finishes in the last 3 cards. Heavyweights have had 3 finishes in the last 3 cards. Women's flyweight have had 2 KOs in the last 3 cards. Mate, lightweight has only had 1 KO. And what's that one? Light heavyweight has only had 1 KO. That's literally it, bro.
It's quite an astonishing stat, really. I mean, this should be a good card, isn't it? There's only 1 heavyweight card on this card. Only 1 heavyweight fight on this card. Apart from Oleinik versus Spivak, which I'm pretty sure is ending in. Oleinik's so good, doesn't say much.
It's gonna be...
He's going to get you out of there, or he's going to be sloppy as shit by the time round 2 ends.
Yeah, exactly. He's either going to get you out of there or get himself out of there. No doubt. Mate, speaking of that heavyweight fight, though, have you seen the cranium on Roque Martinez, the heavyweight?
Roque Martinez, yeah. Where is he? Is Roque Martinez on this card?
Yeah, he's prelim.
What? Extra prelims? Wait, Roque Martinez. Roque Martinez. I didn't know this dude. No, I haven't. Man, my God. That's a Mexican head. That's a Gastelum head.
Such a Mexican head. I mean, it's one of the worst beard situations I've ever seen, but...
No doubt. Like he's like playing the part of like a fucking cholo gangster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, what goes through a man's head when he's just like, yeah, you know what I want, barber? I want just a chin strap. Just give me the chin strap. That's what I want. I want to act like I've got a helmet on. Safety first here, guys. Come on, let's go.
Oh, man. Get ready for the ride.
Yeah. I don't want them cauliflowers. Can you just give me like a headband? That'll sort me out. Alright, bro. Hold on. We're going a little bit static.
So sad.
There we go. We're back, mate. We're back.
We're back. Yeah, mate. It's just throwing rock. It's a good fight for a lot of the. There's not many lightweight fights. So by your statistics, this should be quite a good card. There's not many lightweights on it, and lightweights haven't been getting a lot of KOs recently. And there's a women's strawweight, a women's flyweight. There's a women's flyweight fight. That's a guaranteed KO right there.
Exactly, guaranteed, bro.
Right there.
I mean, that's kind of cool though. We got actually jokes aside, we got 7-1 versus 6-0. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? It's very good. It's good to see UFC trying to thicken out their flyweight division. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I mean, this girl that has got 7-1, she lost against Molly McCann, which is very understandable. You know, you're fighting a meatball.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, when you're 7-1 and you're 1 loss against someone as good as Molly.
Oh my days, and mate, it actually might be a fucking flyweight knockout. She got the other girl who's 6-0 got a flyweight knockout. Round 2. In Feb. Cool. In February. Oh mate, yeah mate, this is might be a little bit of a banger, and that's like the first fucking fight on the card. Why? Very strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange because I think she's the only undefeated fighter on this card, and they put her at the bottom of the thing. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, a little bit odd. I mean, it is a 6-0.
True, but I mean, there's a 6-1 light heavyweight fight. It's just that light heavyweights, isn't it? They just expect it to be a KO. It's so lazy. Oh mate, and this fucking light heavyweight guy who's 6-1, he's His 2 recent fights have been 2 decisions. His only 2 fights in the UFC have been decisions.
Yeah, it's a strange one, mate. It's a strange one. I know as well. It's very weird as well because
Oh my god.
they put him as the main event of the prelims card, which is like, you know, like a big deal. And like, if you've got 2 guys that are unranked at light heavyweight or heavyweight, often the worst fights around.
Exactly. They're slobs. They're absolute slob. I mean, why wouldn't you put Chaos Williams there? You know that's going to be a fucking banger. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's why I put it as my sneaky fight. I don't understand why that's not top of the prelims.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are going to watch that? Probably not going to be watched that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like literally, like who's watching the 4th fight into the prelims? People are like going out and having a drink at that point. It's very strange. Very strange for the UFC. That's what it is. Maybe there's where's this Nikolai Nugumeru?
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. I love that guy. He's like he's a brother of Kermit, isn't he? Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Good damn. That is. What is happening? Oh, fucking hell, man. My internet's all messing up. But yeah, I've seen this girl as well. Women's strawweight fight.
Mate.
Women's strawweight fight that's happening second from last on the prelims. I've seen this Verna Jandiroba fight before. You know, really dogged, really like technical wrestler.
That's cool, man. I mean, the fact the records are pretty amazing. 16-2 and 12-1. It's like unheard of in the women's divisions. Oh yeah, let's get some. Let's get that going on, mate. That's what we want.
That was nice, man. That was a pretty good fucking. That was a pretty good impersonation. I won't lie.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
So yeah, all about the odds and ends then. So we're done with this card. What do we feel about? How do we feel about 51-year-old Oscar De La Hoya fighting Vitor Belfort?
Oh man, I mean, are they gonna give Vitor the juice? Like, surely he's got to have juicy. Like, there's gonna be juicy as hell, right?
That's the thing. I wouldn't. That's the problem for me. Is like, you know, if Vitor's fighting in 1FC right now, he would be on the juice. I can't imagine a guy as smart as Oscar is going to allow Oscar to take juice.
But I mean, thinking about it now, Oscar's probably gonna be on the juice as well.
Really though, I don't know if he will. I just don't know if he'll. I think he'll go in there thinking I don't need the juice to fight a guy who's not a boxer. But maybe yeah. I would like to see them, you know, both juiced up. They're old as fuck. Oscar De La Hoya, you know, by all rights, you just do horrible things to Belfort in the ring. But I think Belfort is a bit bigger. Naturally, it's hard. On juice, it'd be a lot more competitive and fun.
I mean, it's actually insane, bro. Oscar De La Hoya is 48 years old. It's getting to that, like, what do they do? When do they do that, Royce Gracie fight? How old was he then? Versus Ken Shamrock. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Even the second Chuck fight was the worst fight. Third Chuck fight, but yeah. They were old as fuck in that one, yeah. Super sloppy and old. But I mean, how old's Vitor? He's not that old, is he?
44. So he's pretty old.
44.
But not as old.
I mean, I can definitely, you know, I hate all these fights, but I can see this one being more entertaining than some of the other ones.
Yeah, I'll give you that. No doubt. I think
I think Vitor brings a little bit something different as well because he's a southpaw that can throw a straight punch properly.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, especially like he's an animal with the juice. He really is an animal with the juice. Like, his fucking brain switches. Like,
I just think he's just gonna be fucking angry, marching down, fucking swinging a hair all day. Oh man, it's just crazy these times. They really are. Anderson's fighting against Anderson. It's nice hearing Anderson. Did you see what I posted in the group chat? That little like wholesome video call between Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva.
yeah, man. Oh man, it's a really sweet little bromance I like seeing going on. To be honest with you, mate. Like,
very lovely. I super respect a lot of respect for Chris Weidman after seeing that. Just being like open and just like, you know, just looking at it with hindsight and apologising to him, and just sort of like laying it on the table as well. Because I'd always thought he was just a bit of an arsehole who just saw his leg break and just celebrated.
Right. Yeah.
But for him to say it and be like, yeah, I knew I'd hurt you, but I didn't know it had broken, and for Anderson Silva to be like, you know, I get it, you're just celebrating all the adrenaline. It's nice stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite funny because when I was watching the video clip, like they talked about how like what's it called, how Weidman came round afterwards. He was like, yeah, you know, I was walking around the cage and then, you know, I came round, like I just made one check you're okay. I didn't realize he was like I didn't realize he'd celebrated afterwards, because then after he said that, they then showed the clip of him like walking around celebrating while Weidman was fucked. I thought it was just like him blatantly lying 4 or 5 however long afterwards, but no. That is good news. That's good news. I mean, I rated the whole, like, you know, fucking him being open and like saying the stuff about him, you know, like with the fans and that, because I mean, that would be something that's kind of eating at you a little bit. Like, you know, it's not something that Weidman would feel good about, you know, taking pictures with fans about that shit. You know, can't imagine anyone would.
Definitely, like he just got to a point where, like, it sounds like he got to a point where it just, like, he'd seen it so many times, he just didn't care about it. Now it's happened to him. He's like, oh shit, that was a horrible thing to do. But it takes a big man to admit that. You know what I mean? I respect that.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't need to. You know, he didn't need to say it. You know, what's it called? Silver probably wouldn't even known that had gone on. But like, yeah, I respect that. Because it's clearly something that he thought about. Yeah, getting a lot of respect, mate. That camp though, it's just like, you know, that camp is full of boys, absolute boys, bro.
I love Anderson Silva just being like, oh yeah, boxing very interesting, very lovely, very funny. I like this sport. When I put on gloves and shorts, it's very nice. I like it.
It's so fun. It's like the question was like, so how do you feel about being able to wear yellow shorts again? Is it like, you know, nice, nostalgic? He was like, yes, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's that's what he fucking say. Some shit is nuts.
It's like, I just think it's all very funny with the gloves. You can show your personality in it. Well, he's just Michael Jackson, man. I love that. So good.
Oh, he's so lovable though. He's such a lovable man. It's unreal.
I love the fact as well that Chael, his whole career, has just been saying like, it's bullshit, he can speak English, he just chooses not to. And now his career then he's just speaking English.
Wait, Silver not? I feel like Silver spoke to the.
The whole time during UFC, Silver spoke Brazilian. But then as soon as he left UFC, he started speaking in English in the interviews.
He was speaking in English during like post fights and that, wasn't he? Am I wrong?
Nah, literally not. Maybe his last couple, but like for his whole. That's why he was much like as much as Anderson Silva was stupidly revered. Everyone thought he was the best fighter in the world. Anderson Silva never did big numbers in his prime. And it's because of that.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. It's crazy how that really changes things, isn't it? I mean, how big Canelo's got after that one little. Get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You motherfucker. Very funny fucker like that. I watched that shit loads. Very funny.
Yeah.
You trash Spider-Man. You trash Spider-Man.
It was such a beatdown as well. Like, the boy had nothing to say back to that shit. Like, what could he say? And that's the fight. That's the boy you said that would be an alright or a good old fight, wouldn't it, as well?
Yeah, Andrade wouldn't give Canelo that awkward of a fight, but Andrade gives a lot of people many problems. He's like a southpaw with a really long extended reach, comes at you from really awkward angles, can take a shot really well, has really good cardio. I think, you know, he's like me for Canelo, but he's a good fighter. If he's got too many defensive holes, he like relies on his face a little bit much to fight Canelo.
Yeah, you can't really be doing that. He'll break your face, mate. Literally.
Yeah, he'll break your face. Exactly. Crazy. He truly is one of the goats.
So wait, so I'm not confused. Is Silver fighting? Fucking Tyson.
Julio Chavez Jr. Julio Cesar Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Christ.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah, he's fighting that boy. Yeah.
Man, isn't he like one of the goated fighters ever? Am I wrong?
Nah, his dad is.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Dad is.
okay.
Yeah, this boy's like his son, who like is a like yeah. He was an alright fighter. He works the body well, which I worry about Anderson.
Yeah, that is a little bit more.
He works the body well and he's got power in both his hands, but he's not the best fighter defensively, and he kind of has a little bit of quit in it.
Oh, okay. I mean, Anderson ain't gonna quit.
Yeah, Anderson ain't gonna quit. He might get knocked out, but he's not gonna quit.
Not gonna quit, man. Not gonna quit. He'll get knocked out and then be like, thank you for knocking me out. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the experience. I love that, fans. I couldn't do it without you. Cry.
Goodbye.
Funny joke though, man. Him and Mike Tyson, pound beautiful, scariest man.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just I love that shit. I mean, it's the same as like fucking Manny Pacquiao. Like he just looks like a tiny little nerd, and he's actually a destroyer. Probably murder any of us.
He's a proper little bit loving, isn't he? He's just such a killer. I love him.
Great shit. Mate, I think going full circle now. I think Julio Chavez Jr. Julio Cesar Chavez is a fighter in Ippo Macanucci.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow! I mean, he's a goated Mexican fighter. I mean, a lot of people consider him to be the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. I think he's recently come out in a comment and said something like, "Canelo's great, but there can only be one greatest Mexican fighter." It's kind of a stupid thing to say, considering Canelo's still fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's giving him a challenge, really, isn't it? Fucking hell.
It's also a mad thing to say because like Julio Cesar, he was amazing. He was amazing, but like 40 fights into his career, he was still fighting guys that were sometimes like 5-3. And Canelo's not fought anyone. He's not a world champion since he was like 21. I think there's a difference when it comes to that. It's like like Rocky Marciano and that people like that. They went 55-0. They might like a lot of people's records on paper are better than Mayweather's, but no one's fought 24 world champions. Like the last 24 fights of Mayweather's career were all against world champions.
Is it? Is that really? Wow, that's nuts, isn't it? Fucking hell, that's nuts. So what? Did he let people get? Did he never unify the belts? Mayweather.
Nah, that's the thing. That's the thing with Mayweather. He kind of like slipped in between. He never really became an undisputed champion. No.
Was it not somebody he was aiming for? He just. Well, I guess was he not active enough? Was that it?
I think he's always wanted the bigger fights, which weren't always the unification belts. And I think as well, like, I don't really know. I'm pretty sure that Floyd's never unified the belt. Let me check. I might just be chatting shit on Floyd's name.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Mate, oh my days. Do you know that Julio Chavez Jr. went 87-0?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
And the thing is, I meant to write something that I could pin as like an ending, little soliloquy to this, but I didn't really get to it. What should we do? What should I say? It's like, I'll just invite the audience to come watch the Fight Companion with us and say that we'll be watching it all. We'll give our predictions live. You can play with us. Come and enjoy the fights with us. That sort of thing.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds good. We'll do that, and then we can just like maybe let them know the schedule a little bit, if you like. And we'll say the name of the thing as well. So, are you down with?
Oh yeah, we going with MMA Met again.
Yeah, if you're down with that, I mean, we could call it that, and then we'll always change it up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than sit here discussing a new name for like 2 hours, we'll go with that one now.
Exactly. All right. Okay.
So I say be sure to follow us on YouTube at MMA Metagame.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Nice. Okay. I'll start off. All right. Well, that was our fucking podcast. We ran out a little bit of time there at the end, but thank you very much for listening. We will be doing a what's we call it? Fight companion on Saturday. Is it tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday, fight tomorrow.
Mhm.
I think it's an earlier card bank on for the UK boys. Like a 12 o'clock main card is a fucking luxury for us.
Yes. Goddamn godsend. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm gonna be feeling fresh on Sunday. Lovely. So it starts at the prelims start at 9. So we'll probably be live 9. Maybe a little bit earlier.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We'll see what John's saying. Maybe we could get John involved, get him on a call at some point as well. Maybe get him involved.
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be cool.
Good shit. But yeah, we'll be doing that on Saturday at 9 o'clock. We'll be on MMA Metagame on YouTube. And then we'll be doing some post-fight breakdowns either Sunday. Yep, Sunday probably. And then
Sunday if we can.
just giving a little quick takes. If we're doing a fight companion, we might not do a long old haul. But if there's anything that's particularly stuck out, we might rewatch it and then.
Yeah. I think we'll just do a video of our biggest takeaways of the night and our biggest shock of the night.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that kind of thing. We'll give our little best bits kind of thing, and then on Wednesday we'll be doing our preview for next week, which is Garn versus Volkov, cheeky big boy heavyweights. So it's going to be a decisioning night.
That's delicious. That's delicious heavyweight striking, that is.
That is delicious. Yeah, I'm a bit gassed for that one, to be honest. It's been very creepy, very TP. It's going to be good.
All right, man. It's been good with you, man.
Mate, it's been a fucking pleasure, mate. It's been a fucking pleasure,
Hope
bro.
you guys can sit and enjoy watching the fights with us on Saturday.
Nice, boys. MMA Metagame out.
And we're out.
Nice.